afternoon, everybody. I am Nilesh Matlecha. I am a psychologist by profession and I have done my MBA in HR. I conduct training program for more than 40 different companies for management and non-management people. I come sometime live on G-Choris class on different subjects, emotional intelligence, stress management, counseling. I am a visiting faculty for Management Institute and I am practicing psychologist with psychiatrists from last 11 years in Mumbai. Today we will be talking about managing emotions and managing stress. First we will try to understand what is exactly happening in the world. By year 2020, as per World Health Organization, number 2 cause of death will be suicide and number 1 cause of death will be heart attack. So it's a warning sign that because of stress, level of problems will increase in future. And depression also will be very soon number 2 problem in the world. That is what WHO said. We will see what is happening with respect to the stress in the world. In Australia, today 33% people are taking psychiatric medicine to keep themselves mentally healthy. On one hand, everything is available in Australia, like the basic needs are met, money is there, everything is there, income of every Australian is more than $70,000. But so many people are unhappy. That's again an important question. And so many people don't require to take psychiatric medicine. In UK, this percentage is 25%. Some other time they have taken psychiatric medicine. And the same trend is there in Western world. But in India, the situation is slightly different. In last 10 to 15 years, you must have seen people visiting to temple, their number has increased. Queues in front of temples, they are more. In last 10 years, more than 1,000 people died only in Stampede. Not only that, people visiting to Godman, their number has increased. People visiting to various spiritual places, their number has increased. People started more believing in Vastu Shastra, Feng Shui, crystal, astrology and these kinds of things. This is a clear indication that social tension has increased and people are trying to find out some way out for their problem, their issues. But what is happening when people are trying to find out some way out, they are going out somewhere outside. And when we go outside, we feel better because there is a difference between feeling better and getting better. So when people are going out, that time they are feeling better. But they are not getting better because there is a difference. All of us, we know where is our happiness. Is it inside or outside? Inside. But what is happening? Majority of people, they are searching outside. In feeling better, I search happiness outside. In getting better, I search my happiness inside. Feeling better is temporary. People may get dependent and afterwards addicted to that particular process. In getting better, it's sustained for a longer period of time. And I take responsibility myself of making me get better. So this is what our journey of today, today's talk is moving from feeling better to getting better. So in that sense, then one question might come in your mind, what is happiness? For happiness we require 2 things. First, our basic needs to be met. What are our basic needs? Food, clothing and shelter. After meeting basic needs, there is no guarantee that we will be happy. Then what is second thing which is required for happiness? That is developing meaningful philosophy towards life, developing proper perspective towards life, developing proper attitude towards life. If this second thing is missing, then in spite of having everything, still I cannot be happy. And we will talk through psychotherapies today about the second thing. Right? How we can manage our stress. First we will try to understand what is exactly the meaning of stress. The simple meaning of stress is intensity. When intensity of any emotion is high, that's the meaning of stress. Intensity of any emotion. What do I mean by intensity? Say somebody has died, or I have lost some money in share market, or I have suffered a loss in another area of intensity. What is the meaning of depression? When I feel that I have lost something important, that's depression. When I feel depressed, then I can have concern about my health, I can have concern about my future, I can have concern about my finances, but when the same concern gets converted into anxiety, that's the stress. So anxiety is future related. Many times, many future related events are probabilistic, but many times some people they make it as if it is certainty. They convert into. So that's why 92% worries they do not they are useless one. Only 8% worries are valid worries. 92% time it's a khayali pulao. Then another emotion what we feel, that is shame. Shame when I feel that I have broken some social standard, that time I feel shame. And in India, majority people they experience this emotion because in India, significant percentage of people they give too much importance to what people will think. Log kya kahenge, And in case if they have done something socially which is unacceptable, they feel shame. But there is another emotion, that's a disappointment. I can choose. Shame is more intense, disappointment is less intense. Then we feel one more emotion. That is, hurt. What is hurt? When I feel I am not getting my just or what I deserve, I am not getting, that time I feel hurt. But what do I mean by that? Hurt. Like I deserve promotion, but I am not getting. I'm doing so much for my family, but nobody cares about that. So that's hurt. So I can choose again disappointment. Disappointment is less intense, hurt is more, Again, there is one more emotion. Anger, revenge. What is anger? When I feel that others are breaking my internal rule. That's anger. When other people are breaking my internal rule, that's anger. But I can choose, instead of anger, this annoyance. Annoyance is less intense, anger is more intense. We will talk about this exactly, you will understand. But first we are just trying to understand what is exactly the stress. Then one more emotion we feel, that is guilt. What is guilt? When I break my internal code or internal rule, that time I feel guilt. So there is a difference, very subtle difference between guilt, shame and anger. In guilt, when I feel I have broken my internal rule or code. In anger, when I feel others have broken my rule or code, internal code. In shame, I feel I have broken the social code. So that's the difference. So instead of guilt, I can choose regret. There is a difference. So regret gets converted into guilt, then I feel more. So there is a difference between intensity of emotion. So that is called stress. When the intensity is more, that is the stress. What is stress management or managing emotion? Minimizing this intensity, that is stress management or managing emotions. Now we will talk what factors which creates intensity in us. First and most important thing, before we talk about these factors, we need to understand one important thing. Whenever intensity of emotion is high, our capacity to think logically gets affected. How? For that we need to understand mind. When we see something from outside, we see through our eyes, then it goes to hypothalamus in the brain, then we think. That's a thinking mind or rational mind, and then we feel the emotion. That's how the mind works. First we think and then we feel. But there is one shortcut. When we see something from outside, some information goes directly to emotional mind, and that is how also our emotions are activated. Now, if you have understood this, I have a simple question for you. Now, we have seen this way also we feel and this way. The question is, if the flow of information is more towards this side, what do you think what will happen? Impulsive, Emotional mind will take front seat and rational mind will take back seat. So I can give you many examples. When anger,
React.
pardon?
Reaction.
Reaction, yes, I will react without thinking about it. So whenever intensity is high, our capacity to think logically gets affected. That's why it is important to manage intensity. Why it is important to manage intensity? That's the reason. And Harbhajan Singh slapped Srishan. He lost 4.5 crore. Then Mike Tyson को गुस्सा आया तो उसने कान काट लिया था. Not only that, Navjot Singh Sidhu killed somebody. There are many examples like that. So whenever we are angry, it takes 20 minutes to calm down. So if you are angry on somebody, you need to tell other person, मिलते हैं break के बाद. Because it takes time to, because our physiological system is like that. So it's important to take a break, and it's just the first step. And then it's important to work on the belief, which I'm going to talk after 5 minutes. What exactly the belief and all that. Now, this is with respect to anger. One of the most powerful emotions which attacks thinking, which hijacks the capacity to think logically, that's love. People say about love, love is blind. And that's true. I've taken many programs for senior citizens or the people who are staying in old age home. When I was talking to them, some of them they said, Nilesh, we had everything, but we have given to our child. And that's where we are in a problem. Because blind love, pyar andha hota hai, isn't it? Love is blind. So love can hijack the capacity to think logically. A mother, she can't see a bigger mistake of her own child, but she can see a smaller mistake of someone else's child. And प्यार के बारे में ऐसा भी कहते हैं कि जब गधी पे दिल आता है तो परी क्या चीज है. And I have seen many of my MBA students when they are in love and they get problem and फिर वो problem होता है तो वो गाना भी ऐसा गाते हैं जब जिंदगी टूट गया अब जी कर क्या करें. So I have seen their capacity to think logically gets affected. It's not only in love, it's in greed. Wherever easy money is there, fast money is there, people gets affected. I have seen a share market when without if the decision is impulsive, then there will be a problem. So greed is another emotion, anxiety, all emotions, whenever intensity is high, our capacity to think gets affected. That's why it's important to minimize intensity. Now quickly we will talk about what are the factors which are responsible for increasing the intensity. Now, so what are the factors which creates intensity, which creates stress in us? कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जिनका हमें टेंशन आता है? What do you think?
Loss of control.
Loss of control about what? Over what?
About containing yourself in the situation, circumstantial situation.
Okay. So loss of control. Then what else?
Fear.
Fear about what?
Of future.
Fear about future. Okay. Then what else?
Ego is there.
Yes, ego. Ego. So what do you mean by ego? Can you
Even selfishness.
Okay, so I am right, you are wrong. Only my need matters, not yours. That's you can call. I am right, you are wrong. I am okay, you are not okay. Only my needs matter, not yours. That's the meaning of selfishness. That's you can say. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Then what else?
A health problem.
Yeah.
A legal problem.
Health-related problem or legal problem. Court case. What else? We will not spare much time. I want 2-3 examples fast, so that we can go with.
Would be individual's nature also.
Individual's nature about what?
What general towards life situation.
Yeah. So can you give any specific example about general life situations?
If two people working in identical job, identical background,
Right.
one will be always worried, other will be taking it easily.
Yeah. So both will react differently. So we will talk about this after 2 minutes. Right now, the job is safe, job-related stress, right? But the way they are thinking about it, that's different. Yeah. What else?
Negative attitude.
Negative
perception.
Negative perception about?
Anything coming up.
Like, can you be specific? Any example?